Alright guys, so DJI decided to release a couple of new drones to the lineup called the Lito 1 and the Lito X1. I think it's Lito or Lito. I call it Despalito, but that's just me. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the Lito X1. We're going to be taking it out for a spin. So the first thing I thought when I picked up this drone was that it's very similar to a mini drone. This feels like a mini drone. And because it's so similar to the mini series, I'm going to guess that a lot of people out there in the drone community are probably wondering what really separates the Lito series from the mini series. And that is what I'm going to try and figure out and talk about at the end of this video. But before we do that, let's go and take this Despalito for a spin. Okay, I gotta stop calling it that. Alright, so let's run over this drone really quick. Now for video, this drone can shoot 4K all the way up to 60 frames per second. It also has the capability to shoot in V-Log-M for better dynamic range and color grading. Now for slow motion, it can shoot up to 4K 100 frames per second. For photography, you can switch between 12 and 48 megapixels, and you can shoot in RAW, JPEG or JPEG plus RAW. Now for the aspect ratio, you got 16:9, or you can shoot in 4:3 to take full advantage of the sensor, which is a 1/1.3 inch sensor. It also of course comes packed with the usual pro stills features too, like AA bracketing, burst shooting and timed shots. It pretty much has all of the same features that you see in the other DJI drones. You have the master shots and quick shots for automated movements, you have hyperlapse and pano, you have waypoints to set up your own flight route, you have cruise control, and you also have a great tracking system with point of interest, spotlight and active track. Now with tracking, we do need obstacle avoidance, and this drone does of course have an obstacle avoidance system with vision sensors at the top and bottom and a front-facing LiDAR at the front like the Mini 5 Pro has, which is extremely rare at this price range. At the same time, it also has some of the newer features that we see on the Mini 5 Pro. It has the dynamic home point, the drone will power on when you unfold the arms, it also has 42 GB of internal storage, and the battery life on this drone is rated for up to 36 minutes, but realistically you will get much closer to 25 minutes, which is what I got out of my testing. And obviously it does sit right below that 250 gram mark, which puts it in the C0 category with fewer flight restrictions. Now what it doesn't have is the bigger 1-inch sensor that you see on the Mini 5 Pro. The sensor on this drone is pretty much the same sensor as you see on the Mini 4 Pro. It also does not have the capability to rotate the gimbal, and it does not have true vertical shooting for social media posting. However, you do have the other great option, which is the 2.7K crop mode that will give you somewhat a better field of view than cropping from the 16:9 image in post. Now lastly, we have the price, and we have to compare it to the direct competitors, which is the Mini 5 Pro and the Mini 4 Pro as I see it. Now this is where it gets interesting, because here in Norway the Mini 4 Pro comes in at 709 euros, the Mini 5 Pro comes in at 829 euros, while the Lito X1 comes in at only 419 euros. That's almost half the price of the Mini 5 Pro. Now considering what the Lito X1 is bringing to the table here, this is insanely good value for what you are getting for your money. Alright guys, so where does this leave us? What do I think of this drone? Where do we place it even? Well, if I have to place this drone, I'm gonna have to place it somewhere in between the Mini 4 Pro and the Mini 5 Pro. This drone is kind of like a hybrid between these two drones. It has a lot of the features that the Mini 5 Pro has, like the front-facing LiDAR, you have the 42 gigabytes of internal storage. At the same time, it does not have the rotating gimbal, it does not have the 1-inch sensor. The sensor on this drone is pretty much the same sensor as you see on the Mini 4 Pro. I'm actually a little bit confused myself, because when I look at the Mini 4 Pro, it doesn't really have anything that this drone doesn't have, but it's much more expensive. That is why I'm a little bit confused. I think the Mini 4 Pro has true vertical shooting. Maybe it is a little bit faster, but it isn't anything major. And because of that big price gap, I'm gonna have a really hard time telling someone looking to buy a drone to pick the Mini 4 Pro over the Lito X1. Now with that said, if you already have the Mini 4 Pro, I wouldn't worry about getting the Lito X1. I don't think that makes any sense either. Now, I can also mention that the Lito X1 is also compatible with the RC2, but it's not compatible with the bigger RC Pro 2. But overall, fantastic drone. I highly recommend it. Great value. The front-facing LiDAR, the image quality, everything is really great, and it is a fantastic drone. That is my verdict. Now, with that said, I'm gonna, of course, put this drone directly up against my Mini 5 Pro and the Mini 4 Pro, so don't forget to smash that like and subscribe button before you head off so you don't miss out. Thank you so much for watching as always. Appreciate it. Take care, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Fly safe.